Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. It's December 19th. I just want to say good morning, and this is going to be more of a office blog or business blog or life goal blog. So if you're here for the burnouts or the come see the cars, this is going to be for you today. But I wanted to do a demonstration of, or back up my claim that you guys can drive the content of this channel from time to time. And we've had a number of people ask about life goals, business goals, starting a business. And somebody asked me a pretty prophetic question about what do you do when you start to lose the motivation to run your company, or when your company's not doing as well as you like. What do you do with that? And so I just thought I would bring those two things to the video today. So I'm shooting a little bit from the hip. I want to show you something real quick. So when you guys send me questions or requests, I actually put them in a list. So I keep this list of ideas I have and of questions or ideas you bring me. So it goes onto a list, and depending on what the weather, the light, my time, my life allows, to kind of go to that list and look at it. So please, if you have ideas, if you have questions, bring it on. So CEO Dave sits before you today. The suit, the shirt, not the fluffy hair, the glasses, we can certainly kill those. But they help me read. I can't read very well. I can see fine, but I can't read up close. So thank you. That's life throwing you some age issues. You'll all experience it probably at some point. Aging is not for the weak. So I guess what I want to do today is talk to you about, first of all, getting ready for a business, and then we'll talk about the other questions about what do you do. So what do you do when you get ready? And so this is going to seem so unrelated, and we'll do, I don't know if we'll do one of these a week. I don't really know the pace you guys want this kind of material at, but it is getting ready to run a business and running a business and starting it to fail and learning and moving on is something I'm pretty passionate about. I advise other CEOs, I advise other startups, I've sat on CEO councils, I have mentors, I've learned from others for sure. But to get ready, the first thing I gotta tell you, it sounds like such a dad, is you gotta get your shit together. You know, if you find in your life that you're struggling to get out of bed, or your bed's always not made, or your groceries are always, you know, you're always out of food, or the laundry basket's always full, or, you know, the car's always out of gas, or your phone's always not being charged. I mean, those are all, I mean, you can be a successful business person with all that, but those are tells. Those kind of behaviors are really organizational and motivational and just sort of quality life issues. And my first advice would be, get all that together. Get your place clean, you know, get things so you can be proud of them, because that establishes life behavior points. It establishes processes and procedures that will serve you well in the business community. Clients don't really like you being late or being last minute or always have an excuse why something isn't done. So if you're a YouTuber and you don't post for a few weeks, you know, people don't want that. You might have a great reason, but you got to be able to work through those. If you're not a mechanic and you're always late, or you're always not getting the car done or whatever, people don't like that. In my business, if we screw up, the FBI misses its mission for some reason, or the U.S. Marshals can't perform what they need to do, and that is, people lose lives over that stuff. So for us, it's very critical, but it seems so stupid, right? Dave, I asked you about starting a business and you tell me to make my bed. What the hell? And I just would ask you to try to really sit back and listen to that and say, I'm asking you to establish getting your life foundation ready to put other things on top of it. You've got to have a strong foundation before you can build upon it. And if home's a mess, if your personal life's a mess, if you're always late, if you're always catching things last minute, it's going to be very hard to stack starting or running a business on top of that. So please react to that, ask me questions about that, but that would be my first thing. The second thing I would ask you is, what is your plan? Hoping to start a business, hoping or wishing to create a company is not a plan. And hope is not a plan. We need it. I have it. I hope to grow the business. I hope to be in business for a long time. But what's my plan to achieve that? And so, and one of the biggest things I would advise you as you get a plan in place, as you start talking about your business, is where's the money coming from? And so many people hate that when I ask them that, because they want to talk about mission, or they're going to be pro bono, or they're going to feed hungry children, or that's mission. And that's fantastic. I don't even care what it is. If you can design a better cell phone, or be a better auto mechanic, or whatever it is, I really don't care. What I care about it from a business perspective is how are you going to turn the lights on, pay rent, put food on the table, and stay in business next month. And that can seem really cold-hearted, and that's been kind of my reputation in the business world, is I'm rather cold-hearted at times, because everyone else is going to talk to you softly and try to make you feel good. I'm going to bust you in the ass and say, where's your plan? You know, are you making money? Why aren't you making money? And so before you even start, I would put you through that and say, where's your first dollar coming from? Where's your first client coming from? And how are you going to gain more? You know, too many people want to talk about their logos, their business cards, their websites, their attorney, their accountant, their accounting system, and all that's important. In fact, all that's pretty critical, but it is secondary to where's the money going to come from. And so when I speak to my leadership, we talk about money is not the heart of your organization. Money is not the brain of your organization. That's the people and the mission you serve. But what money is the blood. Your heart won't work, your brain won't work if you don't have blood. If you run out of blood, the whole thing dies. And so you have to get focused on the money. And even my leaders, after serving with me for a year or two, takes a while to understand. And in fact, we've broken our sessions with me, my one-on-ones with my leadership teams, into functional and mission and money. And it takes them a while to understand that it is an uncomfortable subject in our society. And I can't change that. I don't even want to. But I do want to change your thinking about it if you're going to be a business owner. You have to get good at money. I think I just want to stop there. So get your shit together, get organized in all aspects of your life so that your foundation is ready to add another brick onto it. And that brick is your business. And that brick will not be helpful to you for a long time. I guess the other thing I want to advise you is timelines. I worked 23 years on this business, and I've been in industry now for 30. I came out of school, I came out of college in May of 1986. So if I'm doing my math right, that's coming up on 32 years ago. So these things don't happen overnight. We like to worship the Bill Gates or the Warren Buffetts or the Zuckerberg people, you know, Facebook, all that. But even they took years. But I would advise you that those are far and few between. Those are 1 in a million, and they're probably more than that. And so just know that you're fighting your odds. In timeline, if you think it's going to work in a year or two, it can take 3, 5, 10 years for these things to catch on. And I know many times in our society, we don't teach that kind of timeline anymore. We teach by the end of the week, by the end of the month, by the end of the year. And if you really have struggles with long-term commitment to these initiatives, I would advise you to really think through that before you start on a business mission. The other thing, we have to be fairly arrogant people to start companies, and that's just a factual statement because the odds are so much against us. I mean, if you look at it, I haven't done the research in a few years, but 2 or 3 years ago, something like 95% of all businesses failed in the first year, and the number goes up 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, to the point where somewhere between 96 and 97% of businesses don't make it to their 5th anniversary. And the number of companies that go from 0 to $1 million is some astronomical. I mean, it's got 0.0001% make it. Those who make it to the $10 million a year are even further out, something like 5 or 6 zeros before you get to the 1 on that. So I applaud you. I mean, I've done it. So why would I advise somebody not to? It's a fantastic life, but you've got to be ready You've got to be committed, and I think you have to redefine your timeline from where you are to what you consider success. So that's enough on that. We can keep going. I mean, we can have a series of these conversations. The other thing I want to talk about, somebody asked me that great question. I just want to read it. What do you do? I'm sorry, I wrote over here. What do you say and what do you do when you get unmotivated and your business is not doing well? What do you do? What do you say when you get unmotivated and your business is not doing well? That's a great question because it happens to all of us. I don't care how old or how successful or how long you've been in the business. Eventually you get a little tired, you get a little unmotivated, you need to step away from it, or something's not going right. And so the advice I would give, the advice I've applied to my life, to my leaders, to my company is you've got to rip it apart and ask why. Why is your company, your business not doing well? And I mean, you've got to really ask that question. And it's hard. It is not fun to dig into the ugly places. Is your product not wanted? Is our services not appealing to people? Are we trying to do something we would like, but the buyers don't want it? Because that doesn't matter. I've got a great example. I had a family friend who loved exotic, rare, used books. And he translated that into, I can make a business out of it. And so the man opened a small, exotic, used bookstore in a very small town in rural Maryland. And it didn't make it. Not because he's a bad person, but if you're going to open an exotic used bookstore, you do that in Manhattan, where literally thousands of people walk by every day. So if the number is 0.1% of people who are interested, you still get some traffic. Or you do something on the internet, right? If you're a sports cards guy and that's what you want to do for your life, you've got to create it online. People have to open it up. You have to be able to get to you very easily. So just really pull it apart. I mean, I think if you're honest with yourself, you'll find out why this isn't working. I had to do it. Sometimes the business changes. Sometimes the universe shifts around us. Sometimes we say the market changes, but sometimes just the society changes. 10 years ago, who knew that most shopping would be done on Amazon? That has changed the brick and mortar world that we see every day, and not for the good. So they are still trying to catch up to that. The U.S. Postal Service versus FedEx versus everything's online now. I think a lot of people miss that boat. I think we're shifting the way we think of currencies. I think we're shifting the way we think of money and the way we buy. And that really comes from 10 years ago it was ATM cards, and now it's Apple Pay and all these online systems. And I think the world's transitioning to these cryptocurrencies. I'm not saying that's the solution, but there are lots of changes, and if they affect your world, you kind of got to get ready for them. If you're an auto mechanic, I keep going to that one because I use them. If you're an auto mechanic, but the cars only need to be serviced every 50 or 100,000 miles, it's hard. And there's a million of them out there now, so how do you differentiate yourself? If you're unmotivated, the question really needs to be, are you in the right place? Are you doing the right thing? Do you have a burning desire to make this thing work? And if you don't, it's time to find another line of business or really pivot and create something you're passionate about. If you're struggling to get out of bed, if you just don't know why you're doing it, then it's a really good tell that maybe you're in the wrong place. Now everybody gets tired. I got a little bit burned out back in 2012. I got a little burned out and I pulled away too far. So that's called abdication. You can sometimes delegate or you can abdicate. I pulled away and I spent a year out searching for a CEO that was better than me or somebody that could teach me, and my company dipped for it and I had to come back in and rip it apart. I'd let a lot of mediocrity crawl into the corporate superstructure, and we had to rip that out and rebuild it from the ground up. And even now, it was September of 2016, I made a decision that 2017 would be the year of stability for this DHA organization. And we worked very hard, and we've had a very stable, productive, quiet year. But even after 23 years, I have to rip it apart and look through it, what's working, what's not. Every time we win something, we ask, why did we win it? And how do we reapply it? And every time we lose something, we say, what did we do to lose? And how do we not do it next time? We've had to rip apart cost structures, bid structures, proposal structures. None of that may mean anything to you. But this is on a mature organization that runs millions of dollars a year through here, and we have to do that as well. If you get unmotivated, maybe you need to take a break. Take a few days off. Take a week's vacation. You know, step away from it. Get your head fresh. I don't really know what else to do. Those are the two topics. I just want to give you some credibility on my side here. I started with nothing. My parents brought no family name to the game. No one knew who I was. I literally started with nothing, no money. And so I know, God, if this donkey can do it, you can do it. You have to get plumb committed, you know, almost crazy committed to it. And if you're ready to do it and put a plan together and work it and learn from mistakes, I gotta tell you, I mean, you can make it happen. So I think that's it. I'm coming up on 18, 19 minutes, which is long enough. I hope this touched somebody. I hope this helps somebody. We can take this to the next level of conversation. We can go down in detail. We can go up. We can talk strategy. We can talk like the next volume. Give me some ideas. If this is just crap, then let's just kill this side of the channel. You know, but I made a commitment that I would follow your questions and follow your leads and put up content you asked for. So let me know if this lands, and if it just falls flat, just be honest. I mean, I know another question I got was, what is this channel? The focus of the channel is the car in the garage. You know, I mean, the cars in the garage and buying them and maintaining them and getting all that done. You've seen some of that, and I will continue to do that. It's just a tough time of year to put too much of that out there. And I'm also trying to be responsive to you. So hopefully what we are is a car channel, a garage channel that as its core, and then we'll do things like the Arlington, you know, and the barn tour and some business talk and some goal setting. And frankly, maybe some ass kicking, you know, I mean, we'll just see. If that plays, let me know. If that doesn't, I'm not gonna beat this horse. So you guys, it is Tuesday morning. Have a great Tuesday. I'm gonna go ahead and upload this, and have a great day. Please stay engaged with the channel. I love talking to you guys. Thanks a lot. See you later.